It's the same case. Do the same thing.
It's not exactly the same case because one of us got laid last night.
We're talking missionary. We're talking missionary.
Missionary?
We're talking when I'm on top and she's on her back.
Damn. 21 Jump Street was one of the surprise hits of 2012. A genuinely funny flick that brilliantly subverted its source material. Based on the 80s TV show of the same name, the film starred Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill as a pair of cops sent undercover at a high school, the stars proving to be a winning double act. And directors Phil Lord and Chris Miller squeezed every last drop of humour out of the premise, resulting in a film that was filled with laugh-out-loud moments. They've taken an if-it-ain't-broke approach to the sequel, however, telling pretty much the same story and infusing it with many of the same jokes. The result is a film that's still consistently funny throughout, but nevertheless feels a little tired and lazy. Proceedings kick off with a previously on 21 Jump Street intro that pays tribute to the film's television roots. Then it's straight into the action, with the mismatched pair endeavouring to take down a drug dealer via a spectacular lorry chase. It's clear that the budget is bigger this time around, and the screenplay points that out at every available opportunity, poking fun at Jump Street's expensive new headquarters and even having the boys crash into an ATM late on in proceedings. Yet while there might be more money in play, the plot remains resolutely the same, with our heroes sent to college rather than high school, but again having to find and bring down the supplier of a new designer drug. But it's really an excuse to further explore the relationship between our heroes Jenko and Schmidt, the uni experience putting a strain on their friendship. Jenko joins the football team and makes friends with a supremely dumb jock called Zoop, while Schmidt hits it off with the arty crowd, hilariously trying his hand at slam poetry and slowly falling for a beautiful fellow student. Such activity breeds jealousy and resentment between the pair, the dynamic duo even visiting a counsellor in an effort to save their bromance. It's a good gag, but one that's repeated so often during the film that it seems somewhat laboured in the final stretch. New jokes do come thick and fast, with Gillian Bell hilarious as a Schmidt-hating student, Tatum's own White House Down coming in for some gentle abuse, and Jenko and Zoot crafting a home movie that really has to be seen to be believed. But for every new zinger, there's a retread of an old one, from the boys taking drugs and going on a slightly less funny trip, to Rob Riggle and Dave Franco returning in somewhat pointless cameos as Mr. Walters and Eric. The film frequently addresses the fact that it's essentially a remake, but I'm not sure acknowledgement excuses actually following through on the promise. Whatever the case, 22 Jump Street is still a blast, the chemistry between Hill and Tatum as good as ever, and the spring break climax both shocking and hilarious. And the gag to laugh ratio is still higher than most comedies, earning an IGN score of 7 out of 10. But if it's successful enough to justify a 23 Jump Street, here's hoping the filmmakers break away from the formula to inject a little freshness into the franchise.
You're a good dancer, and sometimes you're meaner than I'd like you to be.